didn't expect anything from the preacher. I didn't expect anything from anybody, but I did at least expect to not get assaulted and then the cops be threatened on me. And then seeing all of them gathering together in prayer, praying for demons to be, oh my gosh, like that angered me so much, because I walk closely with the Lord. I'm very strict in my home. There is no filth in my home. There's no secular stuff. I walk with the Lord and I live for the Lord. And these people get around in a circle after she attacks me, after I'm standing up for the gospel for those who may be lost in the church. And this man's praying about me after he said, "Get out of her, Satan." It angered me, and it just disgusts me. And you know, my friend has begged me and begged me and begged me to go to a lawyer. And I have been so tempted to go to a lawyer, so tempted to take this to court. And I feel like the Christ-like thing to do is to forgive. But the bad thing is I have a harder time forgiving the original preacher. I've forgiven him, and I know he's sick, and I'm sorry, and I've been praying for his health. I have been genuinely praying for his health. I ask that everybody prays for this pastor's health. My name is Crystal Rollison, so if you know me, the Lord will know you know who I'm talking about. But anyways, my friend took the video to the pastor, and the pastor said Crystal shouldn't have disrupted church and didn't have a word to say about what that woman did to me. And that right there is low. I mean, he couldn't at least be like, hey, she shouldn't have done that. You know, so I don't know what to think or what to do. Saved in Jesus Christ. We are his messengers. So, anyways, I wanted to speak. I wanted to say, you know, like, I'm sorry that I'm yelling, but he was still saying just derogatory comments about me. I mean, I'm over here preaching the gospel of Christ, something that he's supposed to be doing, and he's accusing me of having Satan in me. And I'm just like, what the world? So anyways, it got out of hand, as you see. Yes, I could have walked out, but when you're in the heat of the moment like that, it's so embarrassing. You feel like you need to avenge your name. You feel like you need to explain to people. Everybody's just so easily like, walk out. You should just walk out. And I appreciate all those people who were very supportive about, wow, you know, she's speaking the truth, because that was hard. That was really hard on me. I did not want to say anything. I really felt that God was telling me to say something. And yeah, I could have handled it better. I agree. I could have handled it with more grace. But when you got a preacher yelling at you saying that you got Satan in you, it doesn't mix. And I didn't know him and he didn't know me. But I know that was my church for over a year. Trying to explain what happened that day. I know the video pretty much, it kind of leaves a lot of people wondering and questioning, like, what really happened. And I understand that, because the person that was videotaping is a friend of mine. I did not share the video. I had no idea that he was going to share the video. I think he just wanted me to see that people would be supportive of me. And honestly, it's embarrassing. It's almost mortifying sometimes. But I've been through way worse before I was saved and since I've been saved. So this is, I don't know, this is different. This is kind of weird. The preacher that was preaching was not the regular preacher, and he had preached about 3 times, and all the times that he preached, he was denying the salvation of Jesus. He was saying he didn't believe in once saved, always saved. And I know better because of the Holy Spirit telling me that I was saved from all my past, present, future sins. And read the scriptures. I had no clue what the Bible meant. I didn't understand anything about the Bible until after I was saved, and I finally started reading the Bible about 3 months after I was saved. I know that's a long time, but I was radically saved. The transformation was over minutes. I was here in this room by myself at my home, and this was back in 2011. But anyways, the preacher, I didn't have nothing personal against him. I didn't know him. I just knew that he was a fill-in preacher when our preacher wasn't able to preach. Our preacher believed in once saved, always saved. And that's one reason why I kept going to the church. And I appreciated the fact that he was on fire and passionate about that. And so we were there, and I was getting angry inside because he started mocking the church. He was like the way he was making his faces, and it's, I believe the church is anywhere. That morning he was mocking everybody about, if you're not going to church, you must not love God like you say you do. There's no way that you could be close to God. And this is about the 2nd or 3rd time that he was preaching on this too. And he was basically saying that if you don't go to church, or if you only go like once a month, then you're not close to God, and that where is your love for God? But it wasn't just the way he was saying. It wasn't like it was what he was saying, but the way he was saying it was almost real condescending and real just like in a mocking type of tone. And I gently, and unfortunately the video does not get this because my friend wasn't videotaping until all the yelling started. I was sitting down, and I have a naturally loud voice, but I wasn't yelling. And I raised my hand to talk, and I was like, he was saying, you gotta love, but he wasn't giving examples of love other than going to church. And he was already talking about works salvation, that you got to work to be saved. Well, if you go to sleep, and I know this for a fact, if we go to sleep and we die in our sleep, and God forbid, whatever you're dreaming, you would go to hell. And our DNA is of sin. We have inherited sin in our hair, in our body, in our eyes, in our nose, everywhere. We would go to hell. You cannot you cannot earn your salvation. You cannot lose your salvation. That is like crucifying Jesus over and over and over. Yes, works without faith is dead, but that's the whole point. If you do works but you have no faith in Jesus, then it's dead.